Sinners has outperformed every rated R movie for the last decade. Marvel's Blade is basically dead officially. The Academy Awards are actually going to make their voters watch the movies. Predator Badlands dropped a trailer. We have news on the new Hunger Games film, plus Alien Earth dropped a new teaser, and so much more in this action-packed episode of Movie News. So much action.
What's up, movie friends? A bombastic episode of Raiders of the Lost podcast, the ultimate film and TV podcast. Now, this is the weekly episode where we go through all of the industry news, so you don't have to. We read all of the articles, we watched all the trailers, we even read the comments too. Some of them are very funny. So you didn't have to. Just sit back, relax, and learn about what's happening in the world of film and television. But first, let's take it away with that box office brought to you by our friends, movieposters.com. Use Raiders10 for your coupon code to get 10% off all your orders at movieposters.com, as well as our affiliate link. Now, the box office was the best final week in April since COVID.
The best final week?
Best final weekend.
So just weekend? Or
yeah, like the last weekend in April.
Okay.
This is the
so
best
specific.
one.
It's like baseball stats.
Exactly. But I mean, it's good.
Yeah, it's good news.
It's good. It's the best one in 5 years since
good.
2019.
That's
so
awesome.
things are looking really good. Thanks in part to a re-release of a 20-year-old sci-fi classic. We'll get to that in a second. Sinners dropped only 17% and made $30 million on its second weekend, holding very strong, closing in on $100 million domestic. This is going to turn into a very big hit domestically, and the international market has a lot of potential. This movie has so much upside. The Accountant 2.
Oh, that first of all, that's just insane.
Yeah.
Only a 17% drop in box office is absolutely unheard of.
Yeah.
Movies like Oppenheimer, Barbie, I think they're probably in that realm-ish a little bit, but this is pretty rare. This movie's such a big hit. People are loving it. People are re-seeing it, multiple viewings, and also people turning out to watch it on film projection in 70 millimeter. Whether you're seeing it in an Ultra Panavision wide at specific formats or just going to IMAX and seeing both that and the 65, 70 millimeter projection. This is really exciting news for film, so congratulations to Coogler and his team for such an awesome original movie.
That's what word of mouth does, man.
Yes,
the
sir.
power of word of mouth, and the word of mouth on Sinners is unbelievable. The Accountant 2, one of this week's new releases, debuted with a solid $23 million. I think you actually predicted that yesterday, the exact number.
No big deal. Well, I said 20 to 25.
Okay, you're
basically,
right in the middle.
Yeah.
So $23 million. Again, the movie cost $90 million, so they need a good box office haul like Sinners, but I mean, it's a pretty decent start. I expect it to do well internationally. Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars Episode 3. Star Wars Episode 3. Re-release made a gargantuan $20 million this weekend. Insane. All of the Anakin hardos and Star Wars fans who grew up in the 90s and 2000s grew up on these films. They came out in troves and they decimated the box office. An unbelievable weekend for a re-release of a film. $20 million.
That's one of the biggest I've ever seen for a re-release.
It is one of the most ever. It's one of the biggest re-releases ever.
That even beats Interstellar, I think, when they did it earlier in the year.
Yeah, Interstellar, I think, made like 12
Last year.
to 14, something like that. So it's unbelievable.
20 million domestic at the re-release.
Unbelievable.
Freaking, this is what I mean. Like, just keep releasing
free money.
Re-release movies, baby.
It's free money.
We'd love to see it, and this is an awesome experience, and we're doing an entire episode on Revenge of the Sith on Monday.
Next up, Minecraft still holding its own, doing very well in its fourth weekend with $18 million, closing in on $1 billion. Not quite there yet, but getting there. And then Until Dawn, the other new release, the video game adaptation, did an okay $5 million opening, and it's a pretty low budget film, so it doesn't need too much to turn a profit. Although it's got very mixed reviews from fans and critics. It doesn't seem like everybody's enjoying it.
But it's low budget horror, so it'll probably end up making a profit at the end of the day. $15 million budget on Until Dawn means it probably needs about $25 million to become profitable. Not a terrible start, but The Accountant's more of a big uphill battle. That movie's $90 million. They need probably $250 million to become a profitable film at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think they're going to get there starting that low. But we'll see what happens.
I don't know.
You sure about that? Sure about
You're
that?
not that guy.
We'll see. But I enjoyed that film.
It was a good time.
There's a lot of good movies in theaters right now. There's something for everybody. Something for kids, something for horror fans, and some cool action movies.
Star Wars.
There's a lot to see right now.
This is the first Star Wars movie in theaters in like 5 years.
But what's cool is we're also leading into the start of May coming up very soon, where we're going to get so many great releases. I mean, we have Thunderbolts coming out in a week, basically, which I cannot wait to check out. We're going to do an episode on Thunderbolts on May 5th. So get excited for that this upcoming weekend.
Excited. Now, we got some big news. David Fincher's upcoming sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood officially has a title. It's going to be called The Continuing Adventures of Cliff Booth, which I think is perfect.
It's not official title.
Okay.
So it's a reported title.
Reportedly official.
If you can read what I write, that would be great.
Reportedly titled.
Reportedly titled.
And this film will follow Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth once again while he navigates Hollywood as a studio fixer.
I like this. So they're changing him up from being a stunt guy, the gopher for Rick Dalton, and now he's a Hollywood studio fixer solving problems for studios, which always works well, I think, as a central character storyline. There's been TV shows based like that. Liev Schreiber was a show of one of those, a more dramatic version of it. But I can
Mom
see,
loves Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, he's a good-looking man. But Cliff Booth, I think, would be a hilarious Hollywood fixer because it kind of is in the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He saves the day. But I think it'd be fun to see that character with his skill set, his sarcasm, his personality doing that around Hollywood.
This sounds great, man.
It sounds awesome.
Sounds
Tarantino wrote the script, so I'm sure there's going to be so many references of living people from the past or currently alive that are in this movie, real movie stars, real studio heads that would probably be really fun. Maybe stories based on Hollywood stories that people don't know about.
And there is a rumor of DiCaprio reprising his role, but in a very small fashion.
That would
of
be so fun.
Making a cameo at least.
Oh, man, see Leo as Rick Dalton again?
Yeah, that would be great.
The two of them together?
Oh, man, I hope. One can hope. One can dream. Now, we got some pretty bad but not surprising news. Update on the Blade movie. Flying Lotus went to Twitter. Now, Flying Lotus was tapped to be making the score and music for the new Blade film. And he tweeted, maybe it'll come around again, but I doubt it. Basically saying that it doesn't seem like this film's ever going to happen with Mahershala Ali as Blade.
It's over. I feel like what's shocking is Sinners proves to you that people want cool vampire movies.
Yeah.
And you can pull it off really well. Not that they never did it before with Blade, because they did 3 that were fucking kick-ass. They have their problems, but they're a lot of fun. And they had the perfect actor.
They have zero problems.
They had Mahershala Ali. You had the right guy for the role, and they just dropped the ball. And how do you see the success of Sinners, rated R, vampire movie, hardcore, great action, great characters, and you have the great character of Blade? It's a knockout of the park. It's an easy home run. It's a fucking layup,
It's
dude.
a meatball. It's coming across the middle of the plate. Just a little meatball.
It's dunking on a 4-foot hoop.
This is dunking on a 4-year-old.
It's so easy. Yeah, dunking on a 4-year-old on a 4-foot hoop. This is it's such an easy thing to say yes and make possible, but I think Marvel just can't help themselves, and obviously the development hell of this movie, which we reported on for the last 4 years now,
never ends.
It's just sad, and it's disappointing because this should be just a no-brainer. Make a solo story about Blade killing vampires. How do they get this wrong?
They should already. Honestly, number 2 should be coming out soon.
You keep trying to infuse too much stuff from too many different people in these writers' rooms and ideas. Just make a fucking cool vampire movie.
Yeah,
just make a cool movie. We don't need these things in every movie. It's so easy.
Yeah.
I'm defeated, man. I'm deflated. I'm like those old marijuana commercials where you're like deflated on the couch. All the air has been zapped out of you. That's me with this Blade movie.
I needed a great Blade movie for Marvel to become a big fan of Marvel again. And it's just it's too.
How do you fuck this up?
I will also say
it's like if you're on a pizza shop and you suck at making pizza.
You never make the pizza.
You can't make the pizza.
You never made it.
You just make chicken tenders all day.
No, your entire staff argue about what kind of pizza to make. And then you never make the pizza.
What kind of things we have to put on the pizza? That's what it is. It's a great analogy.
I want to put bananas on my pizza. What? That doesn't fit for pizza. No, but that's what I want to put on it. People like bananas.
And they can't even get a cheese pizza out of there.
Yeah. They couldn't even get
a cheese
pizza.
It's too cheesy.
People don't want cheese anymore. Really? I'll also admit that I have dunked on a 4-year-old on a 4-foot hoop.
It's kind of
our nephews, sometimes you play ball when they're little, and then you like just to show off, like bam.
Kind of fucked up.
Come on, you've done that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You've done that.
Anthony just goes around whenever he sees kids balling on the street.
I throw basketballs at them, just like those videos online.
Let's get into some pretty funny, but finally some good news coming out of the Academy Awards, which also we had the stunt news, which was awesome earlier this year. So the Academy Awards are
Academy Awards.
The Academy Awards are requiring all voters to watch films that are up for awards. So the Academy members will only be able to access final round ballots for categories in which they've confirmed they've watched all nominated films. Obviously, this is because of the huge controversy with one specific film getting 11 movie nominations
and another not getting many.
The Academy will monitor viewing activity through its members-only Academy streaming platform for films viewed outside the platform, such as at festivals, screenings, or just private events. Members must submit a form indicating when and where they watched the film. So, basically, if you're going to vote in the Academy Awards, if you're a voter and you want to vote, you have to show proof that you've seen the fucking movies, which is crazy that they have to pass this rule to make sure voters who have this great privilege to vote on the most prestigious awards of every annual awards show for the movies, for the Academy Awards, making them do their job finally.
Gonna hold their fucking hands.
It's literally Alex and Clockwork Orange with the fucking water drops.
Okay, now watch the movies. It's unbelievable. But some good news. There's going to be, for the first time in Oscar history, an Academy Award category for achievement in casting, which is a very important part of filmmaking. You will always see casting director credits before the composer. That's generally the order. It's that important of a role. They're putting together the cast and going through finding actors. It's a very important part of the process for filmmaking. And so finally, casting, just like stunt work, is getting its limelight at the big awards show. So I can't wait to see casting directors take home Oscars.
They've been doing this at the BAFTAs, right, for a while?
The BAFTAs do it.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. It's like, why was this never an award?
I don't know.
Same thing with stunts.
I have no idea.
Anyways.
I mean, you can't. There's no actors in the movie. Then there's no movie.
In addition to The Accountant 2, we have some other new releases. Also, Until Dawn, which, like Anthony said, is getting very mixed reactions, directed by David F. Sandberg. It follows a group of friends investigating a disappearance. However, they relive the same night from different horror perspectives of monsters or beings coming to kill them. And also, we have Andor Season 2, which is getting very good reviews on Disney+. This dropped its first 3 episodes on April 22nd. And now has a new episode every Tuesday. In addition to that, again, Thunderbolts reviews are coming in from people from early screenings. We had the opportunity to see it last week, but we were too busy. We were at Disneyland at Disneyland After Dark Star Wars Night, which was a lot of fun. Thank you to Disneyland for the invite. So we had to miss it, but we're seeing it in a couple of days. I'm very excited. Fans are loving it. Critics are loving it. So it's getting really, really positive reviews all around.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait. We got a new trailer for Predator Badlands, the first full-length trailer released starring Elle Fanning. This looks pretty good, I gotta say. So Elle Fanning is playing a Weyland-Yutani android, which is pretty fascinating.
Great confirmation with her eyes.
And we're on some kind of alien planet. We're not sure if it is a predator planet, but it seems as though we're going to be following one predator in particular who is a different kind of looking predator. He's pretty small in size, and it's just like the predator in Prey. That predator looked very different from any predator we had before. This one looks very different, but it's the smallest one I've ever seen. I'm wondering if it seems to be maybe a hybrid of human and predator, or maybe, like you said, it could be a young predator still growing. He's just a
juvenile
teenage little predator.
He's got the fade.
He's got a laser sword in this. So it feels like they're going very Star Wars vibe with it, and going really big in scope. And it does seem as though this predator will be the antagonist. There's also a
Protagonist.
Did I say antagonist?
You definitely did.
Sorry, protagonist. The protagonist, Lieutenant. There's also a really cool Easter egg. There's alien skulls, and in a previous Predator movie, there were Easter eggs of skulls in Predator ship. And in this one, we get an alien skull that looks just like the aliens in Independence Day, which is very fun.
Also, a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull is in there as well.
Oh, fun.
So, quick synopsis. Cast out from its clan, an alien hunter and an unlikely ally embark on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary. And in the trailer, they're going up against this giant monster. So it's basically a planet of monsters. And I'm assuming, yes, it was cast out because of probably its size, its stature, this predator, because it is definitely undersized compared to previous Predator films. And it looks quite different from other Predator movies we've seen, but But again, this is a species that has existed for millennia, different planets, different worlds. So of course there'll be some variations in the way they look, just like humans look differently depending on where our genes come from. So I'm curious. I'm interested. I do like the scope and scale, and I do like the Star Wars vibe, sort of a Rogue One aesthetic, great cinematography. So I'm curious. I'll see. I'm not completely sold yet, though. I don't want to say I'm sold on this movie yet, but I'm going to hesitantly keep staying optimistic.
Maybe it's going to be like looking for this giant monster to prove itself to the clan.
Probably.
Yeah. Just like in Prey.
A bit.
Like she's proven herself to her clan.
Well, Prey was more of like we need to survive and not get killed by this giant
predator.
she
wasn't accepted by the clan's hunters as a hunter.
True, but I mean, but also she didn't want everyone to die.
Yeah, also that. Yeah, but I'm just saying also she eventually proved herself as worthy.
But also it's because...
But also, Mission Impossible 8, The Final Reckoning. The runtime for Tom Cruise's highly anticipated film has been released. And we're clocking it at 2 hours and 49 minutes. And again, I got to say, it's not long enough in my opinion.
I'm going to ask you to hold your pee one last time.
Come on, you guys. We can do 2 hours and 50 minutes. You don't have to go to the bathroom. Come on, you're fine.
It's not long enough, man.
It's not long enough. I want more.
I need another hour.
It could be 4 hours and 49 minutes. I'd be just as happy.
I cannot wait, man. I'm so excited. This is less than a month away. May 23rd. This drops.
Oh, my God.
Holy crap. God. Tom Cruise on our screens so soon.
I can't wait.
You seeing this in Leicester Square?
Unless I get an early invite in London. But yeah, the big theaters are in Leicester Square generally. But there's a couple others that are pretty big. But yeah, the big IMAX is there.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna go.
Yeah,
you should get your ticket soon.
That's where they're doing the premiere, and it's apparently gonna be fucking gigantic.
Get your tickets ASAP, just in case you have to go there.
Great point.
Yeah,
that's an absolutely great point.
You're welcome. What's next?
Fountain of Youth, the Apple film, dropped a new trailer, and it looks even better than the first one. We get a little bit more detail about who the characters are.
Can you break down the movie for people who are unaware of what this is?
This stars John Krasinski and Natalie Portman as brother and sister who start searching for the Fountain of Youth. She is a scholar and looks to be a professor. He's an adventurer and tomb raider, and he has a team that he's been working with searching for this fountain, but he needs her help to get to the last steps. And Itza Gonzalez is playing a character who we don't know exactly who she's working for, but she's also hunting for the Fountain of Youth, but with nefarious, malevolent methods.
I'm sure she'll be a good guy at the end of the day.
There's a great little romance bit between Krasinski and her where she's threatening him at a restaurant, and he goes, "Should we just get the kiss over with right now?"
Fuck yeah.
I love it. It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, you might be right. But I don't care, even if that's true. Like, it's still going to be great.
It's like predictable, but it is
yeah,
what it is.
It looks really fun. I got to say, this looks like the best Apple movie they've ever made outside of Scorsese. I'm really excited for this film, and I can't wait to see it, honestly.
Looks cool.
Yeah, it looks like it's an absolute blast.
I'm very excited for Weapons, which is Zach Cregger's new film coming out this August on the 8th of the month.
The 8th of the month?
The filmmaker behind Barbarian. We got our first teaser finally, also with posters. This horror film follows an entire classroom of children who get out of their beds and disappear one night without a trace. And the teaser's very eerie and actually got me a little suspense built, a little dread feeling. You know, it's really, really enticing. Cool original story. Don't know much about it, which is what I love about this film. Just these kids just get up one night in the middle of the night and all run, but they're all doing a specific arm placement with their hands. It almost looks like a Naruto run, but they're running like they're running like this, like their arms are wings of a jet fighter or something.
Yeah, it's interesting. And it's just someone's voiceover, and that's the whole trailer. It's a nice tease.
I can't wait to see this
nice
movie.
Teaser on the 8th of the month.
Okay, do you think the studio, the TV show on Apple TV, got this next movie greenlit?
Possibly. Jonestown.
Or series.
If you've seen the studio, especially the first episode, Jonestown adaptation is part of that story. Bill Hader is apparently going to co-write, direct, and potentially star in a Jonestown series for HBO.
I think he'd pull Jim Jones off real well.
Yeah.
I mean, the studio episode 1's worth checking out for this. I can't help but think like they're connected somehow.
Maybe, man. Maybe. Who knows?
Because I mean, they probably
once people start,
they're like, look at the engagement on Twitter. It's crazy.
Everyone's talking about Jonestown. It's perfect timing.
If they call it Kool-Aid.
They should call it Kool-Aid.
Yeah, but speaking of the studio, we have some news with Seth Rogen, who's behind that show with Evan Goldberg. The Invite is a new film that's going to be directed by Olivia Wilde, starring Seth Rogen, Penelope Cruz, and Edward Norton. Olivia is the featured director special guest on episode 4 of the show, The Studio, but she'll also star in this movie, The Invite, as well. It follows, it's a date comedy inspired by the Spanish film Sentimental and follows chaos that ensues when a couple invites the neighbors over.
Interesting. We'll see.
Cool. Yeah. It'll be kind of like that movie. What were we talking about? The Polanski film with Christoph Waltz. Yeah, Carnage.
Carnage. Not Venom. Carnage, James.
No, I want to watch
Not your
Sentimental.
favorite movie.
Venom? I like Venom.
Venom. Stranger Things fans, we finally got our first spinoff of Stranger Things. It's called Stranger Things Tales from 85 animated series. And the Duffer Brothers said, we've always dreamed of an animated Stranger Things in the vein of the Saturday morning cartoons that we grew up loving. This has just been announced, so we don't know anything about it.
It seems like, I wonder if it'll be the exact same storyline in just an animated version of the show.
Maybe, yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe.
That'd be interesting. Got some new posters for Friendship, one of the very few comedies coming out this year that I'm very excited about, starring Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. You sure about that?
Sure about that?
Sure about that? The film follows a man who lives a normal life, but when a weatherman moves into the neighborhood, he becomes obsessed to be his friend. This movie looks unhinged. The tone of comedy looks so unique and silly and zany and outrageous. I can't wait to check this movie out. It looks so much fun.
Yeah, it does. Tom Holland just finished filming on Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. So no more Greek food for Tom. I'm sure he can go back anytime he wants. But.
I mean, Greece is the only place to get Greek food.
And now he's probably moving into Spider-Man 4 like this week.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So no one knows whether it's going to be Doomsday first or Spider-Man first. They're not filming Spider-Man yet.
Oh.
They're still working on the script.
Uh-huh.
So, but Doomsday is already filming right now.
Yeah.
So people are theorizing, is he actually going to be in Doomsday, which is shooting right now. It would time perfectly with this because they're not filming Spider-Man yet. But there's also a theory maybe he has a cameo in Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is also being worked on right now as well.
Lots of possibilities, man.
So we don't know.
What's happening? Tom, what's going on? What are you doing? Next up.
Just
tell us the day we say hi. Next up, Supergirl. The logo was shown and shared by David Krumholtz on his, what is it, on his Instagram? Something like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And the production has wrapped.
He plays her father.
He plays Supergirl. Perfect casting.
Oppenheimer really got him good jobs yet. He plays Millie Alcock's father in the film.
Gotcha.
Fucking bozo. We finally got our first trailer of Mountainhead, and this is from one of the creators of Succession. This is going to be an HBO exclusive film starring from Jesse Armstrong, starring Steve Carell, Rami Youssef, Jason Schwartzman,
Corey Michael Smith.
Thank you. And it follows
You're welcome.
4 billionaires who meet up on a mountain retreat while the world falls into chaos. They all seem to be owners of tech platforms, like social media platforms, like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And they all are caught up in controversies happening around the world, and shit's hitting the fan. It seems like, while they're also just billionaires who are just the most powerful people on the planet, but they're just dudes. They're kind of like bros that just became so rich because of their tech-savvy skills. And it looks really funny. The tone looks the same exact thing as Succession. It just seems like a long episode of Succession.
It looks like an episode of Succession. Yeah. It really does. Just different actors.
I'm stoked. Releases on May 31st, very soon on Max only.
Love, Death, and Robots Season 4 is coming out soon on May 15th on Netflix, and they dropped a new trailer which will feature 10 episodes, which look really visually interesting. Some of the actors involved are Mr. Beast, the well-known actor, Kevin Hart, John Boyega, Dan Stevens, Chris Parnell, John Oliver, Amy Sedaris, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers will be performing in an episode. there's an episode about a Chili Peppers concert, and everybody's string puppets. It looks really cool. It looks pretty fucking bonkers and insane. So all fans of the show, comes out May 15th.
It's a really good show. Have you ever watched it before?
I've never watched it.
I watched the entirety of season 1 and 2 recently, and some of them are really profound, really excellent filmmaking. Most of them are short. They're around 10 to 15 minutes on average, but they're really, really good. I'd recommend checking them out if you've never seen them. David Fincher also directed one of them. He's been a producer of the show as well with Tim Miller.
Cool.
Let's get into some Jurassic World news that I had no idea Alexandre Desplat is doing the score and the music for Jurassic World.
Let's go!
I didn't even look into this until I saw a video behind the scenes featurettes of Desplat working on the score with the orchestra in the studio, and we got little snippets of beats and moments from the movie while they're doing the scoring, and it sounds fantastic. He talks about John Williams quite a lot, praising him. He says John Williams is my idol, always has been. He's been my guy, so it's an honor to kind of follow in his footsteps. And the teases that they have of the music in the film that they were scoring sounds right on key with Jurassic Park, but with the cool, unique flourish of Alexander Desplat, who's always just got this great sound. He's such a unique auteur with his music, and it really has a voice of his own with film scores, and I cannot wait to hear it.
I think this is great news. What a great pick.
It's awesome news.
What an excellent pick. He's also very much like John Williams in the rarity of he also conducts the orchestra and writes everything himself.
Yeah.
on paper. Very, very few.
He does it on stone.
He carves it.
Chisels it, Anthony.
Takes him 20 years per page.
Yes. Chisels.
He'll be done in like 60 years. All right, for all fans of the Hunger Games, huge news.
Why do you say it with that unexcited tone?
Huge news.
Huge fans of the Hunger Games.
There's just so many Hunger Games movies now. Casting for some of the lead roles has been announced. The Hunger Games: Sunrise and the Reaping will be led by Joseph Zada, whatever. I just did every option, so I don't get it wrong completely. He has been cast as Haymitch. Unfortunately, Woody Harrelson wasn't available to reprise his role
As teenage Haymitch.
Would have been good. But, scheduling conflicts.
Imagine if they just didn't even give him a wig. 60-year-old Woody Harrelson. Balding. He's been bald for his whole career.
White hair. Oh, my God. Oh, man. McKenna Grace has been cast as co-lead Malsely Donner.
Maisily.
That sounds way more likely.
There's an S in there.
Maisily.
There's an S in there.
I said Masley.
No, you said Malicy. You put the L first.
Well, I still said an S, man. You said there's an S in there. I hit an S. I didn't hit it in the right spot.
Anyways.
And then Jesse Plemons, who played Philip Seymour Hoffman's son in The Master from Paul Thomas Anderson, is going to be playing the role previously played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, Plutarch Heavensbee.
Plutarch
Heavensbee.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to be like wicked young in this movie. And still no news on who's going to be playing Effie Trinket.
Well, weren't we talking about how it was Elle Fanning?
Those are just rumors, man.
Yeah.
Just rumors.
Yeah, she's in talks. So Maisily Donner in the book is the 12th District tribute.
District 12?
District 12 tribute for the Hunger Games. And this is the 50th Hunger Games, or the second quarter quell. Haymitch, what district is he from? Is he from District 12
He
as well?
was District 12.
Yeah, so
that's how he
male one.
He bonded with Katniss over that.
Yeah, so he and
He's like, you can trust me,
Maisily
bro.
will be the District 12 people. Cool. Wednesday, the TV show on Netflix dropped its first trailer for season 2. Looks pretty fun.
It looks funny.
Yeah, Wednesday's going through the airport.
I like it.
She's got like a knife. She got bare knuckles.
Nunchucks.
Yeah. Brass knuckles.
It's very funny. It's very cute.
It's very camp.
Yeah.
Part 1 releases on August 6th, and then Part 2 September 3rd.
Very cool. I like how the problem that the TSA guy has is that she didn't wrap up the sunscreen in a bag.
It's super funny.
And it's the hand brought it.
Yeah.
I thought it was very funny. I thought it was very cute. All right. Heads of State.
Did you watch this trailer?
Yeah, the most ridiculous action movie of the year. Stars Idris Elba as the head of
Prime Minister of England.
what? Is he?
Prime Minister of the UK.
Oh, I was not listening to the trailer. I thought he was the head of
No,
the Secret
he's
Service.
British. No, he's British.
No, I thought he was Secret Service head.
No, he's the UK Prime Minister of the UK.
Oh.
Did you watch the trailer? They're like having a press conference together. Why would?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Prime Minister and U.S. President.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought he was just the Secret Service.
Heads of state.
I don't think I was paying attention.
Heads of state.
Oh, it all makes so much sense now.
This fucking guy.
And John. Anyways,
This
John
is a very
Cena,
apolitical show, FYI.
John Cena is the U.S. president, and he's just a bumbling bozo.
He's a former action star, movie star. He's basically Arnold Schwarzenegger if he was president.
Yeah. And they get into all sorts of shit. Their plane gets shot down, and they're in enemy territory. And Idris Elba has to protect the president to get him into safety. And it's funny, John Cena's playing a guy who can't fight or shoot guns or anything because he's just an actor. And Idris Elba is an absolute badass. But it's funny playing against type for John Cena.
He does that often.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks fucking ridiculous. This is a paycheck movie. This is definitely a paycheck movie. Yeah. It certainly looks like a way to kill 90 minutes of your life.
I gotta say, I hated it for the first minute, but then the last 30 seconds of the trailer, I was like, okay, it looks all right. It looks pretty good. I gotta be honest. I did think
it's got a good director.
Yeah.
The director behind Nobody and Hardcore Henry, Ilya Naishaller, made this film. So we'll see.
July 2nd. The 2nd of July.
July on the 2nd.
July on the 2nd of the month.
Yes. Did you see the Alien Earth stuff?
I'm looking at it right now.
So
man.
we got 3 new posters for Alien Earth, and they're really, really interesting. They're really leaning into the sort of embryo and growth of the xenomorph. We have a xenomorph embryo with the Earth is the sac, and then we have a xenomorph screaming, and the planet Earth is inside of its inner mouth. And then also we have a xenomorph on top of what looks like one of the artificial growth chambers for a xenomorph in a lab. For a facehugger in the lab. And also, I've been so mixed on this show until I saw the teaser trailer they dropped today, actually.
Tell us about
yesterday. So the teaser is about a minute and a half, and it's really cool. This very gritty close-ups, gory shots of basically inside an embryo of a xenomorph growing and then being born.
Inside of a person's body?
Yes.
Whoa.
So basically like the camera inside the embryonic sac, and just it looks really cool. The sound design's awesome, and they're also really leaning into, from Alien Romulus, the heavy guitar riffs that they were doing in that film when shit was hitting the fan and the xenomorphs were attacking. You remember the sort of electric guitar vibes that were going on?
Yeah, when the xenomorph was shredding.
Yeah, it was like Mad Max
Fire Guy. It's the xenomorph doing a fucking banging solo.
This fucking guy. Anyways,
also,
the music sounds similar to Alien Romulus versus the Alien movies. This fucking guy.
I'm concerned about the xenomorph in this poster. It looks like he's choking on the Earth. He's like,
Oh my god.
Maybe he looks like he needs help.
You should take your job more seriously, Anthony.
I'm just having fun. He looks like he's choking and needs help. Someone should help him. All right, we got
I got the whole world in my throat. Summer. This
All
comes
right, let's
out in
get
summer.
serious, guys.
Yes.
I know what you did last summer.
This is now serious talk.
They dropped the trailer. Releases in theaters July 18th. It's just like this. It's the same movie.
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze Jr.'s back. Jennifer Love Hewitt's back. It ends with Jennifer Love Hewitt saying, "What'd you do last summer? Did you do something last summer?"
It opens similar to a Scream movie.
Yeah, it's a Scream opening. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's using a gun, a harpoon gun instead of just the hook.
Yeah, he found some other tools.
He's harpooning now.
Yeah, you can't always use the fishhook.
Yeah, can't always. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some Narnia stuff. Emma Mackey has been cast as the White Witch in Greta Gerwig's Narnia movie.
The role previously played by Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, I think that's the first official casting.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the assessment?
This is a film that is coming out on Prime on May 8th, and it released very limited in theaters.
May on the 8th?
It releases in May, on the 8th of the month on Prime. Alicia Vikander, Elizabeth Olsen, and Himesh Patel. Great cast. It's a not so distant future where some kind of authority is very strict about who can have children, and so Olsen and Patel play a couple who want to have a baby, and Alicia Vikander is sent by this, like, I think, government entity to assess whether or not they should have kids, if they could be like good parents. And so Alicia Vikander starts out as like this very diligent secretarial administrator asking them questions, but then it divulges into, it's a 7-day assessment where she starts pretending to be a child to see how they would raise a child. So she acts like a baby, like a toddler. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of weird. Alicia looks like she's just like having a blast.
I feel like she hasn't been in too many things lately.
She's getting back into it. She's been doing TV.
Yeah, and I think they had a baby too, her and Fassbender, right? So I think she's probably
they got a family
been
now.
busy
It's
with
cute.
motherhood.
It's cute, yeah.
But I feel like after Tomb Raider, she wasn't in too many movies. A couple things.
The last 2 years, she's been back in movies and TV.
All right, cool. I think she's great.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. It's an interesting concept. It doesn't really make too much sense because like birth rates are lower than ever right now and across the world. So like making a movie about how we should have less kids is weird.
That's sort of, even though birth rates are going down, a lot of people are saying that we're overpopulated.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's always anti-messaging and pro-messaging for everything.
So like the concept of the movie, I get it. It's an interesting like future, but it's like less babies are getting born than ever. So it should be like this kind of movie should be like we should be making babies as much as we can. It's weird, but it looks interesting.
Well, it's also kind of interesting because it ties into what happened in China during the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah,
the
one child
policy.
Yeah.
One child policy.
Yeah.
And then
it
eventually
fucked them.
then turned into the 2-child policy because they realized their birth rates are declining, and are declining rapidly.
Yeah.
Insanely rapidly.
Yeah, they realize that like when these generations right now are in their 70s and 80s, there's going to be so few young people to like handle infrastructure and bureaucracy
To
and
replace jobs, yeah.
That's gonna be like a big troubling future for humanity.
Yeah, well,
Big challenge to understand. That's where AI and robots will, I think, they'll take over the whole
they'll
left.
be the new babies.
Don't make a baby, buy a baby. No, they'll fill in that hole and that gap in work, in jobs and infrastructure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's why there will be more robots, is because there will be less humans. And then there will be more robots than humans.
Subway.
And then they take over.
Yeah. Once they have Subway, they're going to take over.
Once they have Subway?
Yeah, like they're making your sandwich for you. There's no going back.
Once they get Subway.
That's how they get us.
That's when we know.
Once they're making our sandwiches, then it's over, guys. You see the Malcolm in the Middle news?
Yeah, the photo's great.
First look at Malcolm in the Middle, the revival series coming soon to Disney Plus. We got our 3 main leads, and it's so cool to see Frankie Muniz, Bryan Cranston, and I don't remember the actress who plays the mother in the film.
How could
in the
you?
show?
What's wrong with you, man?
The 3 of them on set.
All right, we got a poster for Wes Anderson's upcoming film, The Phoenician Scheme, really pitting Benicio as the lead of this film. It's him sitting in a bathtub with photos of the other actors on the wall. This film also stars Michael Cera, Mia Thrippleton, Scarlett Johansson, Bryan Cranston, Tom Hanks, Riz Ahmed, Jeffrey Wright, Rupert Friend, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Richard Ayoade.
Cool.
Can't wait.
So, did you see the title release for Ready or Not 2?
What's it called?
Ready or Not, Here I Come.
Cool.
Which is, I think,
good.
a perfect title.
Yeah, that's good.
Ready or Not 2, so it's Ready or Not, Here I Come, which
Here
sets
I
it up
come.
for a kind of a sequel, too.
What would the sequel to that be?
I feel like there's got to be
I'm going to find you. Ready or Not, Here I Come, I'm going to find you. That'll
Yeah,
be the
there
third
you go.
one.
I'm going to find you.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? Ready or Not,
Yeah.
Here I Come, I'm going to find you. Something
Well,
like
that's
that.
the song.
Ready or Not,
Yeah.
Here I Come. You can't hide. You can't hide.
You can't hide.
I'm going to find
And then the fourth film will be I'm going to
you
find you. Yeah.
to make you. What is that?
Make you
Happy.
Anyways, 2 announcements for the cast have been revealed. Elijah Wood and Sarah Michelle Gellar have joined the cast for Ready or Not, You Can't Hide.
I'm going to find you and take it slowly.
Oh, that's nice.
So I think it'll be Ready or Not, Here I Come, and then the third one will be You Can't Hide. That's cool. if they make it. But I hope they do. I like the first one a lot.
James is already just begging for the franchise.
Fucking, it's a sick movie, dude. It's a fucking great movie.
That's awesome. It's an awesome
Big
movie.
fan of Samara Weaving. Let's talk about Animal Farm, the iconic legendary book from George Orwell, which is really more of a short novella or short story. Now, if you never read this movie, it's essential reading.
If you've never read this movie, yeah.
I mean, this book. If you never read this book, it's essential reading, just like 1984. And Andy Serkis was tapped to develop and make this movie a couple of years ago. We reported on Movie News. And we got our first look at it, and I don't know how to feel right now. The voice cast includes Seth Rogen, Gaten Matarazzo, Steve Buscemi, Glenn Close, Laverne Cox, Kieran Culkin, Woody Harrelson, Jim Parsons, Kathleen Turner, and Iman Vellani. However, it doesn't have the tone that I thought it was going to be, especially regarding the story. And it looked like Ratatouille. It looks like a Pixar film, the animation. So I don't know if they're going to go more of a kid-friendly route, because this should really just be like an adult, dark story. But you can make it, I think, lighter in tone. So I'm not sure how to feel until we see more about it. But I was a little surprised by the animation style.
And I was surprised by the look of it, but also by the cast. A lot of comedic actors. So I'm curious about what the tone is going to be, because it's a brutal book, and it's a very engrossing but dark story. So I'm curious. The whole cast, I'm surprised. I'm surprised by everybody in the cast. So we'll see. Next up, Ethan Coen's new film, Honey Don't, will premiere at the Cannes Film Festival this May. The film follows Margaret Qualley as Honey, a lesbian private detective who investigates a questionable church and its leader, played by Chris Evans.
Dominic Sessa, the young hot talent
So hot.
from The Holdovers, will officially star as Anthony Bourdain in a biopic called Tony for A24, directed by Matt Johnson, who made Blackberry, and also starring Antonio Banderas.
Perfect casting.
I mean, this is definitely, I think, a good step for him going forward in his career, because he hasn't been cast in anything really since The Holdovers, right?
He's just been playing video games.
This fucking guy.
I'm sorry.
Has he? I don't think he's. What's he done?
No, he was cast in something else as well. I think he's filming something right now. With a pretty good cast.
Let me check.
I think he's perfect casting for this, and this will probably Bourdain, working in kitchens, becoming a chef, and then traveling.
Why would it be that? I don't understand why.
It's been gaming.
So, okay, never mind. He already filmed a Michael Showalter comedy.
Yeah, man.
Christmas movie.
Pump the brakes, man.
He also...
Dominic Sessa hasn't done shit.
I never said that. Oh, yeah. He's also in the new Now You See Me movie, Now You Don't.
Yeah.
And also he filmed and completed Toe.
How did you not remember that?
Stephen Lang film, also starring Rose Byrne. So he's been busy.
Yeah, he's made 3 fucking films, man, in a year.
I will punch you in the face.
Do it.
Send help for Anthony. But actually, that's the name of Sam Raimi's next movie.
Great segue. That was great.
Send help. Sam Raimi has wrapped production on his new film, described as a horror version of Castaway mixed with Misery, starring Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams. This hits theaters on January 30th, 2026.
The 30th of the month. Okay, Passion of the Christ news. It's been announced that Mel Gibson will be using de-aging technology on Jim Caviezel in the role of Jesus, because he's supposed to be 33 for the resurrection. So,
And Jim Caviezel is 108.
he's not that old. He looks pretty old. Yeah, he's definitely in his
Probably
60s.
in his late 50s.
Late 50s, 60s.
Cool. Outrun, new live-action adaptation of this film, is in the works with Michael Bay, set to direct based off the video game.
Another video game.
Sydney Sweeney will produce the film. Do you think video games are going to surpass superhero movies?
I've been saying this for months. What do you mean? Why are you asking me?
I'm just a topical
I've been
question.
saying it for months.
It was a topical discussion question for the listeners.
You know I know this. You know that I'm saying this.
I guess you could have reacted differently, but...
You're acting like we've never talked about it before. I've literally said video games are the new trend. We'll take over superheroes like a dozen times. Yes, I think they're going to take over superheroes.
Moving on.
There's literally 65 announcements in the last 2 weeks for video game adaptations.
Moving on to Hamnet. Chloe Zhao's latest film, starring Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley, releases on December 12th in theaters, so definitely going to be Oscar bait. Mm-hmm. The film follows William Shakespeare and his wife, Anne Hathaway, real name, as they struggle to come to terms with the loss of their only son, Hamnet.
Interesting. Great cast. The Mortuary Assistant has been announced and begun filming. This stars Willa Holland and Paul Sparks. I have no idea who they are.
What is The Mortuary Assistant? Was that a game or is it a movie from the past?
You're the one who wrote this in, so you didn't even look into it. You just copy and pasted. Didn't even look at what it was.
Mortuary sorry. I keep getting the... Allow Google to know you. Yeah, it's a video game.
Here we go. Another one. The Mortuary Assistant.
I never heard of this. It's very creepy looking. Creepy. This is an RPG. It's like a mystery one. Very creepy. Very creepy looking monster too.
I want to see.
So it takes place in 1998 in a small town in Connecticut. Players control a newly hired assistant at a haunted mortuary. That's cool.
Weird.
I'm down. That sounds like fun. Let's talk about Urban Legend. A reboot is in the works. Gary Dauberman is producing the film.
What's Urban Legend?
An old movie.
Again, James didn't look into it. He just got...
I didn't realize that I was supposed to grab all the details and search Wikipedia information on
I'm just saying,
every
at least look at what it is. You just... if you're going to put it in the news...
It's an old movie.
It's
from 1998.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said.
A university beset by a rash of gruesome murders that resemble an old urban legends. When her friend is killed by someone hiding her car, Natalie begins to notice the pattern. Her suspicions grow stronger when her own roommate is strangled to death. Dun dun dun.
Wow, thanks. What's funny is
Jared Leto was in it.
They keep rebooting everything, even bad movies from the past.
A movie you and I don't even fucking know existed.
It's not a good movie.
I've never even heard of this movie. Anyways, we got the first look at Song Sung Blue, an image of Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson. This follows a married couple who form a Neil Diamond tribute band. It releases in theaters December the 25th of the month.
We got our first trailer for Sirens, starring Millie Alcock and Megan Fahey. It's about one sister who tries to save her younger sister from the leader of a cultish organization led by Julianne Moore.
Cult movie alert.
Here we go.
Another one.
Well, there hasn't been one this year, has there? Oh, wait, Opus. Sorry. You're right. We're low on cult movies this year.
Only one. This looks like it's like a blend of Stepford Wives and like some cult stuff.
Oh, it's really raining outside.
Yes, I washed my car. I went to get the car washed yesterday.
That's okay.
Completely unnecessary.
Yeah, well, the rain wouldn't have gotten all the bird poop off your car.
I got destroyed. I parked under a tree the other day.
And
it was like a whole fucking flock. They were just like, look at this car. Let's fucking shit all over it.
Because you have a Subaru, man.
It's covered in poop yesterday. I was like, I need to wash this thing.
It likes Subies.
Yeah. Anyways, it looks all right.
Exciting
and Megan Fahey, she's in Drop.
Copy.
The Drop.
Tom Hanks has begun voice recording as Woody for Toy Story 5. This hits theaters June 19th, 2026.
Big date for big summer movie.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, the sequel to Sisu has been announced. Sisu 2 is happening.
It's a cool movie.
It's cool beans.
Really good action. Enola Holmes 3 has begun production in the United Kingdom with Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill returning, reprising their roles. This was announced by Netflix.
Oh, interesting. He's got his Highlander hair right now. Sherlock's gonna have long locks in that one.
Nice.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. I'm always up to date.
Yeah, he does have. He's flowing. He's flowing hardcore.
We're getting ready for Highlander.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that.
It's probably gonna be the most jacked ever as this Sherlock.
All right, he's pretty big in the first.
He's big.
He's massive in that movie because he's still doing Superman.
Yeah. Her Private Hell has been announced. Nicholas Winding Refn's next project. It's a film starring Sophie Thatcher, Charles Melton, Kristen Froseth, and Havana Rose Liu. Anything he does seems interesting.
Sophie Thatcher is just blowing up, man. She's had a huge year.
Talk to me.
Yeah, Companion. No, not Talk to Me. Companion.
Oh,
Heretic.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Isn't
Yellow
that other
Jackets.
girl's name Sophie?
From Talk to Me?
Sophie Wilde.
Yeah.
Sophie Wilde. Couple of Sophies.
Couple of
Blown up.
Sophies. Let's talk about the Thursday Murder Club. We got our first look at Chris Columbus's latest film. He hasn't directed a movie in a while, I don't think. The Thursday
For 300 years.
The Thursday Murder Club, starring Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, Celia Emery, David Tennant, and Naomi Ackie. What a cast! Follows 4 retirees who spend their time solving cold case murders for fun. Releases on August 28th on Netflix.
I think it's a fun idea.
Yeah.
And it's fun. They've released a few stills, and just seeing all those actors together is awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people actually do this kind of stuff. You know, there's so many great documentaries, and there's that documentary on Netflix that came out a few years ago, Don't Fuck with Cats, which kind of follows the story of people in their free time investigating cold disappearances and cold murders and finding the killers. And it's really interesting because they'll spend years researching until they solve these mysteries that the police weren't able to solve.
Huh. Yeah.
With the help with DNA technology help too, like Ancestry.
I remember hearing about that cat thing.
You should watch it. It's fucking awesome.
Did like a cat help them find it?
No, well, what happens is they were able to track these people who do this kind of in their free time. There was this missing person, but also connected to this person who posted a video online of drowning a cat in a tub.
Whoa.
And so
that was
because they're
yeah.
so disgusted with that
They
video,
looked into that person.
they were like, we're going after this guy. But then they discovered that he was a serial killer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What an idiot.
And then they caught the guy.
Good.
It's crazy.
Good.
It's a great documentary.
All right, cool.
But speaking of Netflix, our last bit of news, co-CEO Ted Sarandos has said releasing movies in theaters is an outmoded idea for most people and that Netflix is saving Hollywood. What is the consumer trying to tell us, he says? That they'd like to watch movies at home. And I think there's obviously two kinds of reactions to this. You can be very upset about it and be like, oh my God, this is the wrong opinion. But also, I think a more nuanced approach is he's fucking right. He's absolutely right. People are choosing to watch movies at home. People are more comfortable at home, especially post-COVID. People who, not everyone's a cinephile. Not everyone goes to movies very often. And people have these massive TVs now and fucking 8K TVs, OLED, QLED, home theater systems, and just so much TV, so many TV shows to watch, so many movies to watch from home, where I think Netflix caused so many studios during COVID to just bump up their streamers, which has caused this crazy last 5 years. And clearly they have people watching constantly, and they have crazy numbers. So I think you can not like the truth here, but it is happening. And they have data to back it up, clearly. And they have the money to keep doing it.
I think,
But obviously, we like movies. We love going to the theaters. So I think that I saw a lot of people going after him for this, but at the same time, it's fucking true.
I think that you don't want it to be true, and I don't want it to be true, but you see a lot of, especially a lot of the original films that didn't do well this year, had very low performances, and we just did an episode on Warfare and The Amateur, and both of those films did okay.
I mean, the accountant, okay opening.
Okay. Sinners obviously is doing great. It's got an amazing social media and word of mouth reach. It sparked a fire.
But I mean, also Legend of Ochi. Just
under a mil.
Released, and it had a very low box office, and that seemed like a really cool independent original film, and no one was going to see it.
And A24 has been having trouble at the box office this year in particular, as well as a couple other studios. But again, you look at Black Bag. Nobody saw Black Bag, so it's just like you don't want it to be true. But I don't think that it's just movies. I think just generally our society has been changing into a society where, and I'm just saying generally, people are leaving their house less to do anything.
Yeah.
So many delivery services, so many things make life comfortable where you don't have to go out. And I think that's seems like a lot of people, like restaurant industry's down. People don't go out to eat anymore. People just get delivery. You know, everything's down in terms of like interpersonal experiences, like going out to do things, anything. Restaurants close all the time. Whatever industry, you know, less kids are playing sports than ever. You know what I mean? It's not just movies; it's everything. People are spending less time outside and outdoors and more time in their home than ever before. So I think it's a really big thing rather than just being movies. And it's not just in movies. It's something that suffers because the theatrical experience, I think, is the heart and soul of cinema, and that's dwindling. And yeah, it's clear that people are choosing just to watch things at home.
And I think it's not just people staying on the movies and streaming, especially specifically Netflix and other streamers. I don't think they're necessarily just like, oh, I'm going to wait for this movie to come out streaming. I think a lot of people are watching movies that they would normally see in theaters while doing other things. People are watching movies while they're at the gym, or they're watching movies while they're at work, working from home. They have it on second screen. So I think people, they're watching movies not just on the couch or at theaters anymore. They're watching movies kind of all over the fucking place.
Good point, yeah.
You know? So I think that's part of it as well. People are watching movies on their phone in bed or on their laptop. So I think that movie accessibility with technology and smartphones has also led to this.
Yeah.
They have the data. People are watching Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, they make a lot of money. They have a lot of subscribers. We obviously love theaters. And I'm sure Ted loves theaters too, but he's running a business at the end of the day. So, like I said, like Anthony said, people don't want it to be true, but it is true, guys. But what we can do is show up for the independent movies and show up for movies that deserve to be seen. Like, I feel bad for Legend of Ochi. The movie's tanking. No one's seeing it. Yeah. And I mean, same thing with Warfare. Didn't make its budget back, and the Amateur barely broke its budget. But those are still going to be movies in the red. They're not going to make money. Yeah, they're going to lose money. The Accountant 2 will probably lose money at the end of the day too.
Yeah, I think The Accountant 2 will be a loss, and when all's said and done.
And we already had weeks this year where we were like, great movies are in theaters, go see theaters.
And there were a lot of, there have been quite a few original film releases, so it's not just sequels and reboots that, you know, there's been original films out there.
But also, these studios got to stop fucking putting their movies on streamers after 3 weeks in theaters.
Yeah, that's
shooting
true.
themselves in the foot.
That's true.
But anyways, that's our last bit of news. There are good movies
on a down note.
There are good movies to see. Go see Sinners again if you've already seen it, or just see it for the first time in 70mm if you can. The Accountant 2, great sequel, lots of fun action. Revenge of the Sith is in theaters as well. Fucking can't miss that one. It was an awesome experience. I mean, there's stuff to see, guys. Yeah. And we got a ton coming in May and June and July. Fucking what a summer we're about to have.
We have a Revenge of the Sith episode for tomorrow.
Yeah. So thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah. Subscribe on YouTube, hit that like button, leave some comments. What were your favorite stories today? What do you disagree with? What are you excited about from the topics we discussed today? Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Share our episodes, share our content, engage with us. That's super helpful to our show's growth, as well as us getting cool jobs, cool gigs, interviews, experiences, invites to events. We get that from engagement on social media. So comment, like, and subscribe, and share everything you can. And take care, everyone.
See you next time.